I never want to feel completely tied to the fact that I'm only a musician. I would like to learn more about myself as a human. And music has been my dream my whole life, so it is really odd hearing all of this come out of my mouth, but I am second-guessing it a little bit. In a way where I have no regrets. I'm just thinking about what's next.
You know, I think I was obsessed with banality at the time. The nature of this film was anything, a trip to the grocery store or a trip around the country on a train or any element of my life that I was doing. I could find some angle or some shot, you know, something could fit into this film just about the banality of life, you know, like something about whether it was food preparation or shaving. Like, why isn't that ever in film? You know, like, why? That's the ultimate, like, rejection of Hollywood structure, I think, is to show someone brushing their teeth or shaving or just see time passing. So that was my ground zero inspiration, I think, was to just reject notions of drama and explore that a little bit, just to see, like, oh, that's life, you know, that's someone's life. We're all leading, and I've always been obsessed with those kind of details of life, because, I don't know, I think that's where we all reside, you know, and just our own life maintenance and our own, no matter what great things you think you're doing or achieving in the world, you're really just living your life. And I think it's how you approach those elements, you know, that whether you can find joy or meaning in every little thing, or if this is just necessary stuff to get onto the real stuff. I've always been, it's kind of like high and low culture. You know, I've kind of always felt that they're sort of equal, you know, like, I don't know, speaking before the UN is as important as, you know, getting water at your grocery store or whatever. I don't know. It just seems like it's all part of a life and like how you approach it. If you can find some joy or some poetry or something kind of beautiful about the banal things, then everything else is, then you're much more set, I think, to see the world. You know? What I strive for is to be excited about brushing your teeth or, you know, all the crap you have to do in life, like, because that is your life. I've always been obsessed with communication and, like, human communication and how we really talk or the various ways we communicate. And to me, more than alienation, this film's really an attempt at some kind of communication. So, you know, this character kind of disassociated from everything, disconnected, alienated. You can look like that on the surface, but you can be living a really vibrant inner life, you know, in art. So I've always found it interesting when people judge people. Usually it's people close to you, family members, who are like, no, you're not doing anything. You're going to be a bum like your uncle or whatever that. You know, they don't know what's going on inside your head. And it's hard to communicate. I think I always saw this movie about communication or lack thereof, or the impossibility of communication or the attempt at communication, and primarily a visual experience too. I always thought the film would be not very verbal. I didn't see it as being a very dialogue-intensive film, primarily a visual experience, and with no drama, no real notion of theatrics. I was sort of moved most by, I guess you'd call them structural films of the 70s and 80s, films by, say, James Benning or Chantal Ackerman. At that point in my life, I didn't think, as a filmmaker, you know, I didn't think that would be all I would ever do, but at this moment, that's what I was interested in, and that seemed like something I could attempt to pull off. I love the view out train windows because you're going through the back of the town. You're seeing like pipe yards and, you know, and it's the industrial parts of town. It's like a much better way to view a city. I remember starting out not with just a feeling like I'm gonna take my cues from this trip and like I'll just sort of confident in my ability to be in a situation and find a shot there that would, whatever I encountered, I would, deal with in some way in the film, hopefully, and it would grow out of that, and I would discover in the process what the hell I was doing or what the film wanted to be.